What do you guys think Trump's going to do in his first term? You know, let's just get that out of the way. We all saw the video. We all saw the fist pump. We all saw that. Every time he pumped that fist, and every time somebody shouted USA, that's just one more percentage point that Joe Biden just went down by. But that's not what I want to talk about today. That's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today, right, is the fact that the Secret Service failed so spectacularly. Now, if you don't understand the reasons why we are all saying the Secret Service failed, I mean, failed hard. Failed. If you want to understand the reasons why we're saying that, it's because the Secret Service, you see, it would appear they didn't take the threat that they were facing very seriously. They were looking at it as if it were a game. As if it were a game. And let me tell you something. What was happening was not a game. Not at all. Now, with that being said, there's some scrutiny that's been thrown towards the Secret Service way. Not only that, but police departments. See, before we get into this, I want to show you how easy it is to find this stuff now. Police were told about the shooter. So Newsweek. Police officer found Trump shooter on roof minutes before shooting. Report. So there are people reporting this. People were saying this. People were saying this. Before gunshots erupted at former President Donald Trump's campaign rally on Saturday, one police officer had confronted the now identified shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, on the roof of a nearby building, according to two law enforcement officials who spoke to the Associated Press on Sunday. So law enforcement is confirming this. They're telling on themselves. They were telling on themselves. Right? And the guy was taken out by a Secret Service sniper, but the thing is that law enforcement knew about this guy. They were not in the dark about this man in terms of him being present. That isn't what happened here. That isn't what happened here. It was a fail. A fail. A hardcore fail. Now they're getting scrutiny, right? But a police officer spotted this man. Spotted this man before the shooting even happened. How do you explain that? And how do you explain him getting so close? So close. So close. I mean, it's to the point where the Homeland Security chief, according to the New York Times, they call him the Trump shooting a security failure. Alejandro Mayorkas. An incident like this cannot happen, he says. You've had SWAT team members, military veterans like myself, who've all come out and says something about this just don't smell right. Either they are incredibly incompetent, or, and the or part. Let me tell you, the or part. Let me give you a little bit of a heads up to that. The or part is that Trump wasn't involved in it, but they understood how hot it was. They understood the time of year. They understood what it meant. It didn't matter who pulled the trigger. They understood what would have sparked off at that moment. They understood that. They got it. See, I want you to understand what would have went down should Trump have been a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. What would have went down? If he didn't get grazed on the ear, what would have went down? See, we discovered that this guy was a registered Republican. This Thomas Matthew Crooks, this guy's a registered Republican. But at the time, that first 24 hours after, if that round had have landed anywhere else, the first 24 hours, nobody would have cared. You and I, you watching this right now, and I'm making this video right now, you and I both know that. It wouldn't have mattered. Everyone who had a beef, everyone who had some kind of score to settle, anyone who just wanted just to wild out, they would have taken that opportunity. They would have taken the opportunity and they would have instantly blamed whoever they would have thought was responsible. Because the last thing that anybody thought was a 20-year-old white Republican male who donated to freaking Democrats. Nobody would have ever called that one, see? Right? Nobody would have called that one. Wow. Nobody would have called that one. Right? Nobody would have called that one. So you see, I want you to understand what I'm trying to get over to you. Nothing about this smells right. Nothing about this smells right. When you get a police officer who found the Trump shooter, right? Found him on the roof minutes before the shooting. What do you mean minutes? It takes literally a minute. It takes literally a minute to stop somebody. What do you mean minutes? What do you mean minutes? I mean, great job, officer. I mean, you need a round of applause, officer. Great job, officer. Great job. Wonderful. Wonderful. Great job. You know, I want you to remember Uvalde and so many other scenarios in which law enforcement officers have had the chance to intervene and yet they chose not to. This man looked that shooter in the eye. He saw him. People who were there at that rally pointing him out. Pointing him out. In fact, you know what? Let's make this easy on you. I'll make this a little bit easy on you. I want to show you how easy this is to find. Right? This is from News Nation.
To FBI officials on the scene near the suspect's home. What did they tell you?
Hey, Anna, we're actually waiting right now, momentarily, any moment, to get an update from senior FBI officials into this investigation. So I don't have any of that to report out at this point yet. But what we are learning, and this is pretty big according to some of the latest reporting coming out on this, several law enforcement officials are telling the AP that a local officer actually encountered the shooting suspect on the top of that building that he's accused of shooting from, climbed up onto the roof. This was after being flagged down by bystanders who saw that suspect climb up there. And that officer apparently went up onto the roof and the suspect pointed his rifle at the officer, and that officer reportedly retreated, giving the suspect the opportunity.
So let me get this straight. An officer spotted the shooter, went up on the roof where the shooter was. According to this reporter, what this reporter is mirroring, he's repeating what witnesses told him and what law enforcement officials told him. This officer saw this guy. This officer, who most likely had a bulletproof vest on, had a gun on, he didn't go and engage the shooter. He instead retreated and thus allowed the shooter to shoot at the former president. And if that shooter had been successful, would have started a civil war in this country. Yet again, because of the cowardice of a pig, this country was almost taken into disaster. Wow. 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 Just wow. 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 So I'm going to repeat that again. An officer saw the shooter on the roof, went up on the roof, saw the shooter, and then ran away because the officer was afraid because the shooter pointed a gun at him. Sir, you have a bulletproof vest. Sir, you have a firearm. Do something. You have a radio. Call someone. Even as soon as you retreat, hey, guy up on the roof with a gun, do something. But he did nothing. Just like freaking Uvalde. Just like so many other scenarios, they did nothing. And now you want me to believe that some of this wouldn't, I don't think Trump was involved. I think these law enforcement officers knew what would have happened. But even if it wasn't that, right? Congratulations, Mr. Officer. So the one thing that we hire you for, right? Say you have a bank robber. Say you have somebody who's trying to go after kids. Say you have somebody who's trying to mess with vulnerable adults. Say you have somebody who's abusing dogs or abusing animals. Say you have all that going on, right? And we expect these officers of the law who we give all these billions of tax dollars to, these military gear, bulletproof vests, bullets, guns, you name it. We give them all that crap, right? But these folks do nothing when you saw somebody with an AR-15 on a damn roof. You did nothing. You said nothing. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. You didn't speak on your doggone radio, so you didn't speak no evil. You didn't hear no evil because apparently, I mean, if you didn't see the evil and you did nothing, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil on your damn radio, huh? That's how we do it. But you want me to believe these people are serving and protecting. This man, that officer, could have prevented all of this. All of this. If I'm a Democrat, I'm pissed off right now. Because had the officer stopped that guy, Trump wouldn't be getting the sympathy vote right now. See, for the longest time, black people have told Democrats, police reform. Let's actually hold them accountable. Let's actually get rid of qualified immunity. Let's actually make it where if they don't serve and protect people, lock them up. Lock them up. No, we can't do this. Joe Biden's like, well, I don't think that we should defund the police. We should fund the police. Remember that, Joe Biden? Round of applause. Good job, Joe Biden. Woo! Good job, Senior Biden. Good job, sir. Good job. So your lack of police accountability, your lack of police reforms is what caused this. Just so you know. Just so you know. And you can't blame me. You can't blame anybody else. You have to blame Joe Biden. Senior Biden. We've been telling them, do something with these cops. You know, after Uvalde, nothing happened. Yeah. You put charges on the freaking police chief, sure. Granted. But it's time for laws to change because with a failure like this, Senior Biden, the same Secret Service who was serving Trump is the same one that's serving you. Just so you know, buddy. Just so you know. Just so you know. I mean, even on CNN, right? Secret Service faces serious questions after security footprint and rooftop access at Trump event. Yeah, I got serious questions too. Right? Sources have identified the shooting as coming from the 3 o'clock position of Trump's podium location, with shots coming from his right side. Seconds after the gunfire rang out, Secret Service counter-assault snipers began shooting the suspect who was found on top of a roof. Notably, the shooter's location was outside the security perimeter, raising questions about both the size of the perimeter and efforts to sweep and secure the American Glass Research Building, and how the shooter was able to obtain roof access. Well, we know how. Because a police officer was made aware of it. A police officer was made aware of it and did nothing. So now we know how. We are very, 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 very well aware of how. A cowardly police officer, just like Uvalde. Right? But then, the distance from Trump to that roof, your perimeter was trash. And it's not just me saying it. It's the chief of the Homeland Security. Of the Department of Homeland Security. So you get SWAT team members, you get soldiers, you get Secret Service people, you get the chief of the Department of Homeland Security all saying the same thing. It's time to listen. I don't think Trump was involved, but I think something was up. See, doing something like this to Biden, there's no point. Because a strong breeze could just knock him over. But as you can see, Trump, it takes a little bit more effort. So, Everything about this seems wrong. Everything about this seems wrong. If you ain't asking questions, I gotta ask, what's wrong with you?
A-C-A-B, don't you step to M-E. I run to your sundown towns, then turn them upside down. But some of your monsters like stranger things in the upside down. No surrender, no retreat. Certified soldier, got receipt. You can't walk with my feet. I pack nothing but steel for the heat. I'm not soft, I'm elite. Play my anthem on repeat. Now sing it with me. A-C-A-B. Hating is just weak. Get off my meat, go take a seat. Came from nothing, now I'm something. Descendant of slaves, enemy slayed. It's just how I was raised. Black power, temperature raised. Beautiful yet bloody days. That's why I can't be tamed. None of it was ever a game. A-C-A-B, don't step to me. Ancestral power through me. Big dog, big man, big money. Now feel the teeth. Can't be me, can't see me.